PlayStation Drive is starting. While you wait, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon on YouTube to be notified of future goodness. If you enjoy our show, we'd love it if you gave us a 5-star review or rating on your podcast service of choice. To continue the conversation, join the Carpool Gaming Discord, where you can find a wholesome community to have a chit-chat with. For some exclusive content, you can also support us on Patreon. And finally, don't forget to check out the Carpool Gaming website for an awesome range of merch. Links to all that and more are in the show notes, but without further ado, let's get revved up for the PlayStation Drive. Whoa!
What's up, everybody? Welcome on in. This is the PlayStation Drive episode 168. Only one more episode until the magical episode, folks. I am one of your hosts, Ryan, and I am joined, as always, by Fulia, Matt, and Ron. How are y'all doing on this lovely, lovely Saturday or Sunday evening, I guess? Look, I don't even know what day it is.
Sunday evening?
Sunday?
Yeah,
Monday?
Sunday.
Yeah, no, it is Sunday evening. Yes. Doing great.
And it is Monday morning. It is good. It's warming up. I am so glad the weather's warming up.
Yeah. I'm so glad that the weather is finally getting colder again, even though it's been
cooling down.
Matt, today has been like a muggy mess outside. It's like so humid and it's just gross outside.
I'm so done with summer, Ryan. Like I want my hoodie, I want my boots, I want my scarf. Like I'm so sick of being in the heat. Like I can't stand it. Just give me the fall weather so I can put up my Halloween decorations and not feel weird about putting it up, while it's like 25 degrees and humid and muggy. Just no, so done with it, Ryan. Can't stand it.
Yeah. Same. I'm ready. I'm ready for the winter. Give me the snow, please.
Yes.
Whereas Fulia is just like the opposite of us. I mean, that's just what happens when you live on the opposite side of the world. Everything's upside down over there. Because all the spiders come out when it's warm outside. I don't
will you stop it?
Do they really? Do they really?
No,
of course they do, Matt.
Spiders
they're all year
not
round?
seasonal,
Of course.
all right?
It's Australia.
So they're there all the time.
Yeah, all
Oh
around.
my god.
Moving
Yeah,
right
no
along.
season
Oh
stops.
god.
Yeah. Sean, though, brings up a great point. Just move to Edmonton, and then that's how you get, longer winters. I think that's a great idea. When Edmonton's a cool place.
The Oilers have cool jerseys.
Yeah, but they're a terrible hockey team, though.
I was talking about the jerseys. Notice I didn't say anything about the hockey team whatsoever.
Quiet.
No, I mean, Sean knows, because Sean and I have been podcasting for forever, so he knows how I feel about the Oilers, and I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not afraid to be.
I can only speak on the jerseys. I don't want to watch hockey like that.
Yeah,
Speak your
Exactly.
truth, Brian. Speak your truth.
yeah, exactly. But you know what, Sean? Sean brings up the fact that they were in the finals this year.
Yeah, they were.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll give them the credit for that, and
Yeah.
other than that, I also give them credit. They're better than the Maple Leafs, and you know what? That's all that matters. That I feel like that's a good bar to fill. So, God, we're making so many people mad today. Yeah, you can definitely tell I'm back on the show. Anyways, we should probably get to the door because I keep hearing a knocking over there. I don't know what. Housekeeping. So of course we got new patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming that we got to shout out, including Toxic, who became a gold member over on Patreon, as well as Hot Gamer Boy Summer, which we talked about last week on the show. Hot Gamer Boy Summer was on the free trial, the 7-day free trial. Of course, you can get over there on Patreon if you want to try it out. And has joined the ad-free all-in-one tier. So shout out to Hot Gamer Boy Summer and Toxic, our two newest patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Speaking of the old Patreon, of course, number one, Patreon goes to support all of our amazing efforts we do here at Carpool Gaming, including, of course, Extra Life 2024, which is coming up in about, a month and a half? I think we're about, actually less than that probably, from Extra Life. Beginning in November, Rome, New York, we will be there in full force. Thanks to y'all's support over on Patreon, of course. Speaking of Patreon, of course, we've got some new Patreon content. Bowser is the next person up on the Pants Patreon podcast for Patrons podcast. And then the real podcast episode is live with Matt. You're on that show with Sean.
It's a good episode. Very good. Check it out, friends.
Yes. So make sure to go check out all that stuff over on the Patreon. And also, we are currently in the month of September. It's not September, folks. It's September over on Twitch, where, of course, subscriptions on Twitch are half off, which is why, of course, we're broadcasting on both twitch.tv/carpoolgaming live and youtube.com/carpoolgaming. And we've actually met our goal at the time of this recording, the 100 sub goal that we set for the month so that we could help fund Extra Life. We met it over the course of the week. So huge thank you to, of course, everyone who supported us over on Twitch, who subscribed, whether you used Amazon Prime, whether you bought subs yourselves, or you gifted subs to other people. We personally wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you, including our gift subbers who gifted over 5+ subs on Twitch in the month of September, starting with Tim Paullin, top in the leaderboards at 15, Jinsu 3000 at 10, BobLoblaw at 10, Tony Baker at 5, Yon32 at 5, Rizzle2929 at 5, Mitchell Power at 5, Bowser at 5, and of course, Sean Capri with 5 as well. So shout out to everyone who gifted subs on September, of course. And like I said, all of the proceeds this month will be going towards our Extra Life efforts. And just because we reached the goal doesn't mean, the month's over or anything like that. Of course, make sure to head in there if you want to support us, if you want to support our Extra Life efforts, and allow us to give y'all a bigger and better Extra Life experience. Make sure to head on over on Twitch, and you can hop on in. You can give some subs. So there you go. Shout out to everyone on Twitch, by the way. So, anyways. Let's probably grab our 8 tracks, pop them in. It's time for the playlist. Time to talk about the games we played this week. Ron, start us off, man. What'd you play?
Still progressing through Trails Through Daybreak. Nothing new there. Still in Chapter 4. But that's because I was spending most of my time this week going ahead and finishing up good old Space Marine 1, which ended up being a really, really good game. The story was interesting enough, but it was all about the combat, the close quarters combat especially. It's just a good game. You get in there, you get your hands dirty, and you just sit there and just saw orcs and anything else that comes at you, and you get the job done. So, great game. Totally great. I played it. Looking forward to Space Marine 2. Cannot wait to play that with friends. So, yep. And that's it.
So, Ron, quick question for you then. Mm-hmm. You're waiting for Space Marine 2 to come up on the wheel, or is it going to get a special pass and you're going to play it soon?
Oh, no, that's going to be instant. As soon as my other friends get it, they're waiting for a little bit of a sale first. Yeah, multiplayer games don't go on the wheel.
Well, I was going to say, not only that, too, but if you waited too long for the multiplayer specifically, the time would probably pass on it. So
yeah, nah. Me and the friends are getting it. Like I said, once it gets on a decent price, we all go get it at the same time and play it.
Yeah. Your running mate, by the way, is asking you to play Space Marine with them. Of course, Rybo.
I'm pretty sure Rybo's probably playing on PC. I might look into that.
Bowser asks, am I your friend, Ron?
Lots of friends requesting to play with his Royal Baroness. Please.
Yeah.
Yes, Bowser, you are my friend.
There we
I was
go.
going to say, it looks like you had even more friends to play.
I didn't know Rybo was playing it. He was too busy talking me into Stardew Valley, and then I had to talk myself out of it before he got me into that. Yeah. So,
oh man,
don't talk yourself out of that. Yeah,
I'll talk myself out of that. I'm good. That's going to be too involved, and I won't be able to get anything done. He almost got me.
That's good.
It was close. No, it is not.
I kind of want multiple weeks on the show where you just talk about Stardew Valley.
No,
and nothing
that's
else.
okay. I got to get some more games done. No thanks.
Yeah.
No thank you.
Nice. All right, Matt, what'd you play?
I started Xenoblade Chronicles, continuing the Xenobabing. Hopefully, the true king of the Xenobabes is proud of me.
I am.
Xenoblade
I love
Chronicles.
that game.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's
Ron,
go.
tell me.
Who even are you?
Who are you,
anymore, Ron?
Tell us, Ron. Who should I main as in Future Connected?
Well,
who should I main as?
The person that has the cat ears, go all the way. That's gonna be the main right there.
I appreciate the effort because she's not in this game, but
she's not in that one.
Effort.
Oh man,
no.
It play as the burly guy, the guy that's tall, big muscles, and he has a deep voice.
I think that describes 10 different characters in Xenobabe.
Play as that one.
He's also not in this game.
He's also not in that one.
But he is.
Shulk, people usually don't describe Shulk like that, but I'll take it. I'll take the compliment because
plays the blonde hair kid. Plays the blonde hair kid.
There it is.
It doesn't have spiky hair.
All right. I will mainline as Shulk. Thank you.
Yeah, there you
Following
go.
the true king of the Xenobabes.
Yes.
I love it. Haven't played it yet, but the next game for the Backtrackers is Beyond Good and Evil. I've never played that game, so I'm looking forward to it.
That's a good one. You're going to enjoy that.
Yeah.
Is it good?
How are you playing it though? Curious.
So it's on sale right now for Switch, but I know I did some research and I know for a fact that on Switch it's 30 FPS and it dips, especially
Yeah,
when
you're
there's
gonna want
heavy
to play
parts.
it on like PlayStation, PC, or Xbox.
Yeah, I know it's like max 720, whereas I know PS5 is definitely 60 frames, way better textures, but it's not on sale on PSN.
Okay.
So I'm gonna wait until the last day of the Nintendo Switch sale. If PSN doesn't go on sale, then I'll have to bite the bullet and play the inferior way because I like playing better, but
Okay.
I like saving money too.
Matt, I have a suggestion for you as well. You have an old console around PS2, Xbox, or GameCube, right?
I have a GameCube,
Because
and
that game goes for like $10 on the GameCube. You could just
pretty
play
cheap.
it on the GameCube.
Okay,
And it
so
runs
here's
at
my
60
next
frames
question.
per second on the GameCube.
Here's my next question: is there a big difference between the OG version versus the Anniversary Edition that's on modern consoles?
I don't think there's any different content.
Okay,
But
so
I think
same
it's just
content, but it might
visuals.
be pretty.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just
Now you're tempting-
throwing
well,
that
now-
as an option. Because that game is like a very common game for old consoles, and it's still like if you've got an old console hooked up, it's not bad. Also, if you have an Xbox Series X, which I know you said you don't have an Xbox anymore, or an Xbox 360, there is like an Xbox 360 Live Arcade version that also runs really well. It's also on PS3, I believe, as well, and that version I think is also cheap. I think it's like $10. So you've
I'm
got
gonna
options.
look into that, but hold on. Breaking news live right here in the chat. Pat in the chat. He said that he bought a copy of Nier Automata today. Can't wait to try out. Let's go, Pat in the chat. Let's go. You're gonna love
Pat
the
in the
one
chat.
full
Oh, no.
experience.
Pat in the chat.
Thank you, Pat. Gonna give you lots of pats. Thank you. Sorry,
Enjoy the
breaking
combat.
news.
Enjoy the combat.
Just had
And
to.
I wish you luck with the story.
It's gonna be great, and the music. He's gonna love it.
The
He'll love
music
it.
is great as well. See, so there are some great things. The story's not one of them, but everything else, yeah.
Yeah.
Looking
Beyond
forward
Good
to
and
your
Evil-
thoughts, Pat.
But Beyond
Sorry,
Good
go
and
ahead,
Evil 2, I'm excited to hear what you have to say about that game, Matt, because I think that game's actually really good. And I think you might
right.
actually like it a lot.
It is. It is good.
I'm excited, but now you're tempting me, so I will look for the PS3 version. I did not know it was available because I'll do some more research. If it's not a big difference between Anniversary and the OG, and if you're telling me it's $10 versus 22 on sale for Switch and then 26 on PS5, I don't mind. And like I said, I don't mind playing PS3 games.
PS3, I think it was on like $9.
That's what I mean. Yeah, because it
Yeah.
originally released as
Okay.
a $10 game on Xbox Live Arcade, and then it came to PlayStation 3 later. So yeah, I'm
Right.
pretty sure it's a $10, or I guess in Canada it might be $13.
Oh, well, yeah, I didn't think
when
of
you
that
do the
way.
conversion, but
That's okay. That's okay.
I was gonna say it's still cheaper than buying the Anniversary Edition. So you got options then.
I'm
Again,
excited.
if you
I'm
had it,
excited.
if
And
you had
then-
an Xbox, Bowser brought up the best option earlier, which is if you have Xbox, you just sign up for a month of Ubisoft Plus, and you'd have that, and then you'd have a bunch of other Ubisoft games to play. You could play Star Wars Outlaws.
Doesn't
and
say
Star Wars
Xbox
2.
anymore. He put it in the trash can. So
Yeah,
yeah, the trash can. I sold it to somebody's hands.
through that
all
series,
right?
that's exactly where it belonged.
yeah. This is
Right.
this is
Too
just
much.
me trying to throw that out in the ether. It's like maybe one day Ubisoft will bring that to PlayStation. Maybe.
Here it is.
Maybe?
Maybe.
You never know.
And the last thing I played was Fortnite with Yon32 and Quaggy last night. I think I haven't played like in a year, so it's been a while. But you know what?
It's been a while.
We still got it. We still got it because it took us 2 hours, but we got that victory royale. Let's go. We did it.
Way to go.
So, yeah.
Way to go.
It was a good time. There's like again, I haven't played in a very long time. There's like I think it's like a Marvel theme. So all the OP weapons is like Black Panther gauntlets, War Machines, like auto turrets. So in my opinion, it's a little bit unbalanced because if your whole squad is geared up with that stuff, which we were for that time that we won, you really don't stand a chance. Like it was 3 of us with auto turrets versus somebody who was very good, but if you don't have the gear, then you're out of luck. So no, but good time to hang out with friends. So I had a really, really good time playing Fortnite.
Nice. And Fulia, how about you?
I've played quite a bit this past week.
I like how on the document you just wrote demos. Just as its own thing, by the way.
Yeah. So the 6-1 Indie Showcase happened last week. And because of that, they also have their own event on Steam. And I ended up playing quite a few demos. So here we go with some of the demos I'm going to list off. Mythwrecked Ambrosia Island, or Mythwrecked Ambrosia Island, which is a really cool sort of kind of chill, not really survival, more of an adventure game. And you're shipwrecked on a Greek island, and you come across some of the Greek gods of mythology. And you help them out. They're kind of the locals, and you speak to statues, and you open up portals for fast travel. And it's actually really cool. Yeah, shocking, right? Absolutely shocking that I'm playing all these demos.
Yep.
So that's a good one. Morgan : Metal Detective, where you're going to an island. But this is Morgan. She's visiting her granddad's house, I suppose. And she's inherited her granddad's metal detector. And so this is a first-person game. And you have a metal detector. And you go around sort of sweeping the grounds to see what you can dig up. And you can help people out who have lost things. Like in the demo, you help out a local that has lost an engagement ring, so you have to go and find it. So that's pretty cool as well. And it's got like a good, you can actually read, there's different frequencies for different densities of metal, which is really cool. I like that they did that rather than just having everything the same when you hover over them. They've all got different frequencies, so it's really cool, and you can figure out that something's going to be different compared to others, like trash and all that sort of stuff. So there's that. Another one I've played was a game called The Quiet Things. This is a interactive narrative story, sort of like a walking sim type of thing, where you're walking through different rooms and you find objects around the room, and it sort of gives you a memory associated with that item. Most of the time, it'll be like a voiceover from another character talking about it, and you'll find letters and all that. But it's very, very mental health oriented. A lot of the topics in this game is very heavy. So just trigger warning for anybody who does want to go check that out. It is pretty heavy on like self-harm and suicide and all that sort of stuff, and just like child abuse and stuff. So if I'm just warning you now, there is those topics that it will be at hand for that one. So it definitely will be an emotional game for sure. I also played a game called Trip, and not trip as in falling over trip, or trip as in holiday trip. It's more of a I'm high trip.
Oh. Well.
I did not see that one coming.
This is about to pick up everybody.
Okay.
Game of the week.
What's it going to be? Shrooms? Acid? What are we tripping on?
No, I don't know what it is. But it's pixel graphics, and it's first person, and you're walking through this train. And at first I was like, oh yeah, okay, this is interesting, very colorful. And so you're walking through this train, and you're coming across all these, different passengers that are on the train. There's like someone who's reading a newspaper, another one who's playing a game, a gym junkie who decided to bring their treadmill on a train and is working out, like running on the train.
It's shrooms.
And then
quite the trip already.
But you try to go to the next cart, but it ends up looping you back to the same cart, but then they're all in different positions doing something a bit different. And then I was like, hold on, is this Platform 8 or something? Like, that's kind of what it kind of gave me the vibe of, like, you're just sort of going through. But this demo, I mean, it didn't really, I don't know whether there was something that would progress. I kept going back, and about 3 or 4 loops after that, it restarts again. And I'm just like, it's not really going anywhere.
It sounds like a multipass. No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, this is why I play demos, because it sort of gives you an idea of what to expect. And I thought from the trailer, when I saw it in the showcase, it was going to be something interesting. But yeah, and then I played the demo. I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's not for me.
Ribo.
Ribo, the chat.
For audio listeners,
Fulia Stoner.
Ribo says Fulia Stoner game could be up there with Pepsi Man.
I agree with that statement. I agree,
I
Ribo.
was
It is up there with
expecting a
Pepsi
little
Man.
bit something different out of her
I
explanation
feel
of that
like
demo.
I feel like Pepsi Man's going to be a lot better.
Oh,
I feel like
Wow.
Pepsi Man
Well,
is one of the
it's
greatest
gonna be-
games of all time.
There's going to be more to do in Pepsi Man than there is in Trip. So
oh boy.
All you do in Pepsi Man is collect Pepsi cans.
Well, look, it sounds better than looping into a train cart over and over again. That's for sure.
That's true. I mean, it is infinitely more fun to be chased down the street by a Coca-Cola truck or a rolling giant Pepsi can than it is probably to do what you're describing in this game.
Oh boy.
Good God.
a couple more demos that I played. Inspector Waffle's Early Days. And this is a pixel graphic, very Game Boy inspired graphics kind of game. And you're essentially a new detective that's just joined the police station, the local police station. And you have to help solve a crime. And the first crime is a theft of a video game that's like very rare and very expensive. And yeah, you got to find clues and all that sort of stuff. So but when the way that it sort of looks, it's in a square screen. So it's definitely looking like you're playing a Game Boy game. And it's really cool. I kind of like it. So that's definitely something that's on my wish list. So I'm really looking forward to checking that one out because it's a detective game. And, you know.
Is it going to be better than Duck Detective or Frog Detective?
I haven't played Frog Detective, so I don't know about that one. Duck Detective, it's got its own art style compared to this. So this might be there might be a little bit more to it than what Duck Detective had. There's no voice acting though, so you'll be reading.
But wait
Look, it wasn't as much dialogue.
you
as I
said
thought
that you
there
do
was gonna
not
be.
like to read. Wait a
I
minute
don't
here.
like to read too much. I don't mind small amounts of dialogue, which this has. This has small amounts of dialogue, which is fine. I don't mind that. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
The last demo I want to mention is for a game called Cabernet, and Fiona had mentioned this on the Xbox Drive, and oh my goodness, I loved this game. This is it's a point and click sort of narrative visual novel game about vampires. And the art style's really cool. I really love the look
What
of this
kind of
game.
vampires, Koala?
What do you mean, what kind of vampires?
What kind of vampires?
What
Are
do
we
you
talking
mean?
about vampires with their
ones?
shirts off?
No,
These are vampires?
Yes.
No.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
No,
That's exactly what I was
is-
thinking.
This is like
Yeah, Matt, we know her.
centuries
I
ago,
know.
kind of like that kind of
Like
vampire.
Nosferatu kind of vampire.
Centuries ago.
Yeah.
They could wear no shirt in centuries ago.
Exactly.
They can still be thirst traps.
Yeah, they can still
No?
be thirst traps in 1800s
Yeah.
or wherever it is.
Exactly.
Like nobody
Yeah.
had shirtless
all
men
wear-
back then.
They're all wearing suits, like very, very well dressed, very dapper. Very
the
fancy
kind of vampires.
Yes.
When you live for
yes.
thousands of
pompous
years
ones.
and you accumulate millions of dollars kind of
Yeah,
They're
I guess
English.
so. Yes.
They've
Oh,
got
of course.
British
The extra
accent.
snobby vampires. Let's do it.
But it's really cool. It's got a morality system. It's an RPG essentially.
Oh.
It's kind of really
Piqued
cool.
my interest now.
What's this
yeah,
called
and-
again? Cabinet?
Cabernet. So you know the wine Cabernet,
Uh-huh.
but the Cabernet in this game is not technically wine.
Oh,
It's
I get
blood.
it. The blood thing, yes. Is this on
It's
PC?
it's a code name.
Okay, this must be on PC. I've never heard of this one.
Yeah, it's definitely. I played it on Steam, so there is a demo, like, as I said. So, yeah, definitely worth checking out. It's a very extensive demo too. Like, it gives you quite a bit of story. So, and I played that. I think it was, how long did I play it for? It was like about it felt like more than half an hour worth of like content in that demo. But yeah, it was really cool. It gives you an opportunity to So there's like different stats that you can, increase and decrease by putting points into them. But you have to also be aware that depending on how good you are in one certain category, you might not be great at another one, because then dialogue that comes up, there's choices that matter. And if you don't have high enough points, you won't be able to choose that particular dialogue.
So there's more reading.
The story. What? No, this is fully voice acted.
Fully voice acted. Okay.
This is fully voice acted, yes. And it's very well done. It's very well done. So I would definitely highly recommend.
I might have to take a peek at this. All right.
Yes, check it out, please.
Okay. I'll look into it.
Story is actually really cool. But going into games, like full games that I've been playing this past week, I played a bit more of Astro Bot. Far out. Everybody's platinuming this game, and I'm still stuck at...
Yeah, you know why? Because you just listed off a whole bunch of demos.
Good job, Ryan.
Instead of playing Astro Bot, you played a bunch of demos and then other games this week.
I played those demos in one day. It's not like I didn't have time the rest of the
one
week.
day. Look what
You're
you
also
said.
making it sound like there's no other games on your list that are coming up that you also played.
Oh, man.
Also, I'm busy working and stuff. I don't have all day.
I have a night. I have like a Monday to Friday.
Apparently, she's
job
the only
like
one
you
with a
do.
job,
I
Ryan.
get
She's
it,
the only
yeah.
one that works.
I'm a slow gamer, all right? Leave me alone.
we all don't have jobs, just Koala.
No, I was just gonna say, like, it's one of those things where it's just you played a bunch of stuff this week, and that's okay. It's just like that's why the platinum hasn't come yet, but you'll get it. You'll get there.
Yeah, you'll get there.
Because it's actually like an easy, like it's not too difficult.
Here's
of a
the thing,
platinum.
though.
Which I'll talk about in a second.
Ryan, how long did it take you to finish this game? Like in hours? How many hours?
It took 15 hours to get the platinum.
Okay, see, I am already coming up at 20 hours. That's how bad I am at this game.
Okay.
You'll get it done. You'll get it done.
It's not a race. Don't worry. Yeah,
That's right.
You get it
I
when you
know.
get it.
I'm taking my time with it, but then I'm seeing everybody pop their platinums left, right, and center, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
But don't worry about what other people do.
That's right.
do what you,
Exactly.
you do you.
You tell her.
Is what I would say. All right.
Facts, Ryan. Facts. Yep.
Another game I played is my committed relationship. I've been playing God of War 2018.
And she's not lying, everybody. I was there to confirm that she actually played it. I was there.
Thanks for the
You
receipt.
put a
He
thing in
never
there,
believes
it's
me.
fun.
He never
Thank
believes me. Every time I say I'm going to play God of War, he's like, are you sure? I don't believe you. And I'm like, I am. Come and watch me.
And what did I do? I came to the stream and watched just to confirm.
Oh, man. All right. I don't know if I'm halfway. Let me tell you where I'm at.
You're not.
For far out.
More than halfway.
I didn't
Right?
want to
Right.
lie to
Going.
herself. I didn't want to lie to herself. I couldn't do it.
All right. Atreus is ill. We taking him back to Freya, and Kratos had to go back to his home to find the Blades of Glory. Times. That's as far as I've gotten.
Excellent.
Still got some time there.
You getting there?
Good progress,
Yeah.
Paullin. No,
Yeah,
keep it up.
she's making
You're doing
progress. She
Good.
did
You got
quite a
this.
bit.
Now-
Yeah, good progress.
Now I'm actually slowly starting to enjoy the gameplay
Oh,
because
look
I
at
get
that.
to hack and slash
Yes.
with the
Excellent.
blades. I get to hack and slash with
Good.
those swords. Damn it! Not this giant axe that takes forever to hit an enemy.
The blades are great. The blades are great.
Mixes up the
And
combat
I'm
for
gonna,
sure. Different pace.
I'm gonna
Yep.
assume, in terms of like history, they're from the original God of War games.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
important. Yep.
Because
Yep.
before this game, Kratos did not use a giant axe.
Yes,
He did not.
That's right. Good old blades.
Cool. All right. Well, got those blades. I am continuing on with that adventure.
Okay. Okay.
You get
Excellent.
that. You're making progress.
The last game that I want to highlight is a game that I couldn't talk about last week because it was under embargo. And that is for a game called
Caravan
Copycat.
sandwich. Oh, okay.
Wrong, Ron. Wrong.
I'm sorry. I'm looking forward to that.
Here we go. This is Copycat, and it's an Australian-made game, and you're essentially a cat that is, going around and like your adopted cat. You're an adopted adult cat, and it's like a really cute sort of a interactive narrative story. You go around, you try to find things, you cause a mess, like you tip over paints, and you paint up the floors, and
That sounds like a quick way to not be adopted anymore, is what it's looking like.
This sounds like the game Cat
when you make a mess.
Lateral Damage, which was a PSVR game.
God almighty, Ryan.
That's a real game, Ryan?
That's a real game. It's on
I thought you were
PlayStation
making
VR
this
1.
up.
Cat lateral. Oh,
Cat
Lord.
Lateral Damage. You go around,
my.
you just wreck stuff in the house, and you're a cat. That's what you do. Kind of like what this
No.
game does.
Yeah, this cat would not be at the house anymore. That's for sure.
well, here's the thing: the person that adopted the cat is actually an elderly person who has emphysema, unfortunately, and so she has a hard time, with her breathing. She has to sleep with an oxygen mask.
So she doesn't even need to be doing all this work that this cat is making for her. The cat
I was
is a menace.
just gonna say, yeah, like that's something you don't want to have.
What?
Add
when the-
extra work to this poor woman.
Yeah,
So the
but then
cat
you
is the
also
bad guy.
no. Then you go into dream states, and you're in the dream state of the cat. You're a panther in the wild, running free. The game goes places. Oh yeah. No, this is actually an emotional story. For anyone who hasn't seen this game, it is also fully voice acted as well, apart from the cat. So the cat dialogue you'll have to read, but that's fine. It's not much anyway. But yeah, you've got, the on the screen here, you see this is the daughter of the elderly person who's not a fan of the cat in the first place, has been trying to
Gee, I
get rid
wonder
of the cat.
why.
Well, yeah, exactly.
No.
The menace
Nobody,
cat.
look, you don't understand. This cat just had trust issues with humans because they were thrown out of their home originally, and that's why they ended up at a shelter. And so this is how they
If
get
this
adopted.
cat does this to every home it's in, I can understand why it keeps ending up at the shelter.
Yeah, I agree with Ron. This cat sounds like it's a big
Yeah,
joke.
this cat does not sound like a sweet cat at all.
No, this cat just wants a place to call home, and that's the whole point of this.
Terrorizing an
particular game.
old lady with emphysema. Yes.
I was gonna say,
What the hell is the cat supposed to do?
the cat wants a
feed
home.
himself.
but
Terrahouse?
The cat needs to stop destroying the home in order to have a home.
Thank you. Thank
Exactly. Thank you.
You have no sympathy for cats that have just been adopted.
I
Who
have,
have
sympathy
had
for
troubled
good pets.
pasts.
Good pets.
This cat might have been abused in its former home, and like what the hell?
The excuses that you're making for this cat?
It's an
What about the old lady?
I played this whole game start to finish. I cried by the end of it. I was crying, like no joke. It really.
I
hit me
started
hard.
to cry as soon as I saw it was making a mess of that house for that old lady.
Run! Shut up!
Frank the old
Alright?
lady.
Oh, hold on, let me
Being
go. Get the camera
so rude.
Put on the counter. Put on the counter.
Yada knows what I'm talking about.
Yarn shouldn't be co-signing this. This poor old lady and this menace, the cat.
It's an emotional story. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna stop because you guys just won't appreciate the game that I'm playing. So there, that's what I've been playing.
Excellent. Well, as for me, slightly shorter list because I platinumed Astro Bot. It's official, y'all. I got
Let's
there.
go.
Another platinum
Congrats.
on my belt, passing Matt
Congrats.
with the number of platinums I got this year so far, but nowhere near Fulia or Ron. I love this game. I love Astro Bot so much. This game was a game that I had a very hard time putting down, but I had to put it down because I talked about it on last week's show. I hurt my thumb on last Saturday, and it didn't really get better right away. It basically took till Thursday to kind of heal up again, so I kind of couldn't play games until then, or at least I wanted to, keep my thumb off the games because I still had to go to work. But I also wanted my thumb to heal at some point. So I played Astro Bot yesterday, just in one big session from level 4 on, and platinum the game, basically all in one run because I was just having so much fun with the game. Whether it's just all the little PlayStation references that you get along the way, to Astro Bot himself just being an endearing character, to the awesomely crafted level design and worlds, like how colorful and interesting all the worlds were, and how fun all the platforming challenges were. This is a game to remember for me. Like, this is honestly, when I look back on it, I'm still kind of in the I'll get to you in 1 second for you. I'm still kind of in the like couple days zone. I'm still in the honeymoon period, I should say, with this game. So I don't know if it's fair for me to say it's one of my favorite 3D platforming games of all time, but I think it's probably one of my favorite 3D platforming games of all time. It's honestly just as good as something like Mario 3D World, honestly, which was one of my favorite all-time 3D platformers. I also love like Mario Galaxy and some other games like that, and I think it's like in that realm of those games. But Fuya, go ahead with your question.
Of all of the VIPs that you come across, which one's your favorite?
I don't want to spoil any of them. I can tell you off air, but I don't want to. I trust me. There are. I recognized almost every single character I came across without having to look it up. There were a couple where it's like they're clearly characters from racing games and stuff like that I didn't really know.
Yeah.
But besides that, all the other characters I recognized, and there are some really, really deep cuts.
Yeah, there was a lot that I had no idea about.
Yeah, like the deep cuts from like weird PS1 or PSP games that like I know about from someone who's been playing PlayStation for a long time. But like I can imagine no one else knowing this without looking a lot of these up. So and I love too, like each character also gets its own kind of accessory that you unlock through kind of the gacha system in the world as well. And I love that all the animations or the interactions you have with some of those characters. Like you can walk up and if you touch them, they'll then do like a cool move, or they'll attack you with a cool attack. Like the one you talked about with Kratos, where he'll throw the axe at you and freeze you if you mess with him. Yeah. Or I love like Drake, how you touch him and he like flips behind cover and he just starts shooting stuff. Like there are some really, really good ones. And I loved all that stuff. As someone who's been playing PlayStation games since 1998, like this game was such a celebration of PlayStation as a whole that it makes me just want to see them do more of this and lean more into this thing, just like Nintendo does. Like, have an Astro Bot kart, have an Astro Bot golf game, have an Astro Bot tennis game, have Astro Bot Party, Astro Bot Super Smash Brothers, but basically PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2, please. Anything like this. Like I want to see more of this type of thing because we just don't see PlayStation like leveraging their history as much as they should be. And this is the game that perfectly exemplifies why they should be doing more of that. So overall, Astro Bot, very, very solid game. I love Astro Bot. I think this game is incredible. Definitely like, I'm in the honeymoon period, but I think this is definitely like easily one of my top 3 games I've played this year. So I lived up to the hype, which I was not expecting. I was not expecting to be won over as much as I was. I went into it a little resilient, but no, this game, again, it deserves all the merits it's been getting. So absolutely incredible game. I also played a demo this week, Fuya. I played the Romancing Saga, The Revenge of the Seven demo, which I talked about on RPG Cave a lot with Garrett yesterday, so I'm going to make this brief. But it's a turn-based role-playing game. It's a remake of a Super Famicom game that didn't come out in North America until the PS4 era, where they did kind of like English translations of the first 3 Romancing Saga games as like standalone releases for PS4 for the first time. But this game is really good. It's also like a really good turn-based role-playing game. It's made by the same team at Square, Zine, that did the Trials of Mana remake, which I know Ron doesn't like, but I personally really like the Trials of Mana remake.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, I know. But this demo was really, really solid. Like the mechanics were really cool. You go into these battles where you actually have 5 party members in your party, but it plays a lot similarly to something like Final Fantasy X, where you kind of have the bar along the top of the screen showing the turn order, and that turn order can shift depending on certain attacks that you'll do. And yeah, it was just a really solid 1-hour demo. That really won me over in a way that no other Saga game has done, because traditionally all of the Saga games, because there's usually one or two that come out every single year, I don't get into any of those games. Like, I'm just never won over by any of those. The only one I've enjoyed is Romancing Saga 3, which I played during Extra Life a couple years ago on Xbox One. So I kind of figured that this game was going to be pretty good because I knew Romancing Saga 3 was a good game. So yeah, like this is one where it definitely made me a lot more interested in the full release. You basically start the game with just the prologue, and the saved data carries over to the whole game if you decide to pick it up later. So this is a game that I probably will wait for sale to pick up, but I'm definitely like, it moved it from the not interested part of my brain to I'm pretty interested in this game. So giving that game a shout out. And then the last game, of course, I played, I started yesterday. I told everyone on RPG Cave this was going to be my next game that I was going to play because I've wanted to play this game for years, but I never hopped into it before. And that's Shining Force CD on the Sega CD, which is a tactical role-playing game made by Sega. And it's kind of like a remake of the 3 Game Gear Shining Force games that came around. But for folks that have never played a Shining Force game before, they're basically like Sega's answer to Fire Emblem in a lot of ways, where they play very similarly to the Fire Emblem games, but they have more of an arcadey feel to them where there's no permadeath or anything like that. But if a character falls in battle, you have to resurrect them outside of battle, and it costs you a dollar amount that increases based on their level. So the higher the level that they're at, the more money it costs to bring them back. But this game, oh my God, it's so much fun. I'm through chapter 1 already. I'm having a blast playing through it. It's such a well-designed game. And a game that just really stands the test of time. The writing's not great because for the most part, there really isn't any type of character development so far. You're kind of just going from place to place, trying to defeat this like demon army. But the battle design and the character classes are just so well developed and put together. The strategy is really good. And honestly, this game's a slam dunk for me. Like, this is a game that I knew I was going to enjoy from the second I saw it, and it's incredible. I can't believe it holds up this well this many years later. So I'll be talking about that more on the shows as we get going. But we're 42 minutes into the show, and we haven't actually gotten to the topic yet. So let's get into it with our topic of the week. Now, here's the thing, folks. We, on the PlayStation Drive, we said this before. We don't talk about rumors or speculation on the podcast. So while there are rumors of certain Sony remasters that are to be announced soon, we're not going to talk about those specific rumors because we will be talking about them when they actually get announced. But we just wanted to have a general conversation because this is something we're seeing more of. I mean, we've got the Until Dawn remake, for example, coming out from Sony in a couple weeks now. Whether or not PS4 remasters of Sony first-party games, are they a good or a bad thing? Do we think this is a good direction they should be going in, a bad direction? And if so, like, what do we want to see? Are these games the ones that are rumored, the ones we want to see, or do we want to see other stuff? So, Ron, kick us off, man. What do you think about this?
I'm perfectly fine with remasters that deserve them. And when I say deserve them, I'm talking about games that are trapped on consoles that we do not have accessibility to. Things like PlayStation 3, where it has a ton of games. PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1. Not games that are available on the PS4, and you have a PS5 that plays PS5 and PS4 games. That makes zero sense to me, especially with rumored games that are coming that already look nice as they are. I'd rather resources be dumped into things like the Ratchet & Clank collection that's stuck on PS3, the God of War collection that's stuck on PS3, Infamous 1 and 2 that's stuck on PS3. Those games, for sure, will make money. I can understand Sony being a bit hesitant with Killzone, even Resistance. Those are games that you gotta be a little worried about because, yeah, people will say they want them, but they probably won't sell. Even with Sly Cooper, as much as I love Sly Cooper, I can understand them being hesitant with that. But there's just games that deserve remasters that are not available right now. Unlike games that are PS4 games and can be played right now.
Yeah, because you brought up an interesting point, Ron, because I think, like, when I look at Until Dawn, the reason why I'm actually excited about that remake is that game, even though it's on the PlayStation 4, and you can play it on your PlayStation 5 technically, So it is technically available. That game runs like garbage, and it does not look the greatest either. Especially now, like it's a game visually that is not aged well. And not only that too, you've got the motion stuff in there with the controller that kind of is not optional and does not work well and can cause character deaths to happen when you obviously didn't really do anything to cause it yourself. And it feels like it's a bit of a cheat. So I understand with a game like that where it makes perfect sense. But you're right. If a game runs on PlayStation 5 with the PS4 version, why does it need a remaster right away? So, yeah, I understand it from that point. Matt, how about you, man?
I feel the same way. Like when I'm thinking back about when, remasters, re-releases, definitive editions were coming out, like for me back then, it was for a very specific purpose, which is what Ron mentioned, which is it was stuck on the last gen console. You cannot play it on the next one. Like PS3 games were stuck on PS3. That's why when The Last of Us came out on PS4 remastered, it makes sense because you got the new console. You cannot play the old one, and it actually was remastered. It was not just a straight port. There are visual enhancements to it, and it was reasonably priced. If I recall correctly, in Canada, Ryan, was it like what, 29 like at launch or something like that, or maybe even like maybe 39 at most? Like it was quite reasonable for the price that it came out. So again, I love the remakes. I love the remasters, especially when there is a purpose for it. But when it's a game that doesn't need it, and I'll get to it. Okay, my name on YouTube today is I Am the Problem, and I know I am. So for example, I bought The Last of Us Part 2 remastered. It was my loophole for 2024. I love that game. I'm not joking. I see no difference between that and the PS4 version. I literally could not tell. But I am the problem because I bought the special edition day one. Okay, I know I'm telling Sony like, yep, you don't need to fix the game. You can charge lots of money. Give it to me. Shut up, take my money. I know exactly that's what I'm doing. But here I am on the internet complaining alongside my co-host that it really should be done purposely. And I agree with Brian's take on Until Dawn, because when I saw the trailer for the remake, like you can see a big difference.
Yeah.
I'm still worried. Is it not full price? It's gonna be full price, right?
It's a full price game. But they did like a side-by-side trailer just recently, and it's so much different. It looks so much better.
It looks a lot better, but okay, correct me if I'm wrong, friends. Like the PS5, when you pop in your PS4 games, are not most of them is there not like a boosted mode for most of them?
So there is, but
right?
There are certain limitations as to what boost benefits you get out of the boosted mode. A lot of times it's usually like faster load times. Like it's the reason why Bloodborne is tolerable to play on PS5, but it's still not great because that's another game. Speaking of games that should get remakes, that is a PS4 game that you can play on your PS5. Like that's a game that's hampered by its original game design that needs like something like this to happen. But they're not doing it. They just
patch it.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a full remaster.
They haven't even patched it, though.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they could patch it. They don't have to do a full remaster. Just fix a few things.
Well, speaking of Bloodborne, we do have a carpool question about Bloodborne from Final Fantasy VIII is Life, Final Fantasy VIII is Love. And he asks, we all know what games needs a remaster. Bloodborne. Do you think we aren't getting a Bloodborne as this is Sony's way of edging us?
No,
it's not going to happen.
Dave,
FromSoft is busy, and apparently so is Sony. Who knows with what? Yeah. Remastering games, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they're remastering games, Rod. You know that.
Yeah, remastering games and FromSoft is too busy. It's not happening.
I don't know. Like I said, like I remember back in the day, I would get very, very hyped for it because it's like, yes, I can play this on my next gen console. Very happy, and I could see the visual upgrades. But I'll be quite honest, the most recent ones, like I can barely tell a difference. Like even like Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, Death Stranding Director's Cut, like I can barely see a difference. Like I know Ghost of Tsushima, they included DLC. I know Death Stranding included new combat, fine, but I still don't feel like this really justifies like what you guys are saying. Should Sony be putting their time and resources into something where they're not really making a big visual upgrade? But I mean, well, I guess the easy answer is like, yeah, because people like me buy it day one, and here's all your free money, Sony, to do what you want. So I don't know, friends. I'm a walking like hypocrite here. Okay,
Yeah.
I know I'm the problem. I'm sorry. I am. I'm not helping. Fool ya. Can you save me, please? Like, I know I'm not helping here.
Look, for someone who doesn't really play very many... Actually, no, I lie. I have played remasters and remakes of games that I've never played before. So I think in that instance, having remasters can be good for players like me who have never actually played it originally on the older consoles. And so for me, it's like I don't mind playing them. But if I've already played it back in the day and I still own it, and like if I find, like even back then, there are games there back then that could use some work that might actually look better on current modern TVs and consoles and stuff. But I don't know, like I'm a bit on the fence about remasters. It really depends on the game. Considering that I am not the type of person who is going to be going out of their way to buy a PS5 Pro, because I don't technically have, the latest in TV technology to be able to run, 4K games and videos and whatever. So remasters for me, I haven't really played many of the Sony games, like the Sony exclusive games. Recently, I've only just been playing, God of War 2018, and I'm playing the PS4 version on PS5, and it still looks great, honestly. Like
Most
just
PS4 games do. That's the thing about it.
Yeah, so in that instance, if it's playable now, especially when they're PS4 games on a PS5, a lot of the times, especially when you buy the disc, they give you the PS5 version of it when you put in the PS4 disc into your PS5. And yeah, like I feel like it might be a little bit better in terms, because they would have had to make it compatible to be able to do the backwards compatibility. So they would have had to do something to make it look a little bit better, or for it to work well on the PS5. So that for me is enough, in my opinion. But some games that, like Ron and Matt have been already mentioned, that some games that are stuck on the older consoles that you'll never see the light of day, probably, would be nice, especially for players like me who don't normally go out of their way to buy remasters, but only because I would only buy them if I've never played it before. So
yeah, which makes perfect sense. And for me, it really is just a game by game kind of basis where it's like there are certain ones that make more sense than others, and it just really depends on how much of a difference you really get out of it. Like Last of Us Part 2, Matt, you brought that up. That was a perfect example where just unless you had a 4K TV, like a nice 4K TV, you were not going to notice a difference with that game. Because you played on 1080i TV, or 1080p TV, which makes sense as to why you didn't really notice a difference with it. Because all the differences were on the 4K end of things. It was similar to our conversation about the PlayStation 5 Pro last week, where you kind of had to have a TV that takes advantage of all that stuff in order to actually really see a difference with that. And also but I think the benefit of doing remastered versions is they can take advantage of some of the technology in the PlayStation 5 or the Pro and enhance the game in ways that they can't do doing just an update for the game. And I think that is more of a reason for that more than anything. But ultimately, I'm the type of person where I just I'd rather see a full remake then instead of a remaster for some of this stuff, especially Until Dawn being the perfect example of if you're going to go halfway with it, you may as well go all the way and do a full remake of it if you believe that strongly in that game. But I want to bring Bland Explosion, Mr. Garrett Bland, into the conversation here. Garrett says, genuinely curious how the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster will go in terms of sales. I do not blame them for going back to the well to extract more value. I finished Horizon Zero Dawn only a couple years back on the PS5, and it already looks amazing. I bet you'll need a Digital Foundry breakdown in order to see the difference between that and the remaster. My wish is Resistance, Infamous, and Killzone collections, but we all know that that's not on their mind. They'll likely remaster God of War 2018, Ghost and Spider-Man. Well, funny you say that, Garrett, because there already is a Ghost
right.
remaster. And Spider-Man 1 already having a $10 PS5 upgrade or whatever. So I'm not sure if there'll be a remaster. Maybe something like Death Stranding. They already did. They already did the $10 upgrade for Death Stranding.
I already did those ones.
Yeah. But yeah, because that's the thing. That's why I'm curious to see like what this is actually going to be. And we can maybe have a discussion again when it's announced as to like how far of a remaster this is going. Like how much of a difference are we really going to see? Because I think
Not
that
much.
really plays into it. Yeah,
I'm calling it.
How much
I'm
is it
calling
gonna
it right
cost?
now.
Else. Just
Not much. I'm not calling it.
Dude,
I'm
wasting
calling it
time.
right now. Not much. Like, especially with my eyes, I'll be like,
Yeah.
can't tell the difference, but take my money. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Ron. I'm just being honest.
I know. I want you to be honest. I want you to be honest.
Wait, with the rumored games being, Horizon Zero Dawn, as Garrett pointed out, when, ESRB rating came out for that, which of course ESRB does not rate fake games. So we know that that's happening. And then the other one being Days Gone. It's like, yeah, I think like those probably fill in like the $10 upgrade path that something like Ghosts or Death Stranding has. Like, I think that that's probably what they do with this, but I'm interested to see, because like, I think this brings up an interesting point where I think like for someone like Fulia who hasn't played those games yet, like maybe this is the perfect way to get into a game like that. Like I think that's really interesting. So not only that too, but we know there's a big push for Horizon coming with a TV show and other stuff, and we know a Days Gone TV show is coming. So it's just like I think that's playing into it as well. Like Until Dawn has the movie coming out, so that's why they're doing the Until Dawn remake. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how these can turn out.
That Days Gone series better be good, because nobody bought Days Gone before the series. So
I was going to say,
the TV will bring up interest, because I don't get that one. Days Gone doesn't make any sense. Horizon, I guess.
Yes. If there actually really is a Days Gone remaster, I'm with Ron. Like that really, like, hey, I'm hashtag justice for Days Gone. I'd like that game. But if they remaster that, I feel like that's slapping me in the face and all the other fans who actually enjoyed the game. It's like, well, here's a full price remaster, or I don't know, like $50 remaster, but you're not getting a sequel. And we poo-pooed on this game because we said it didn't.
Sony wanted nothing to do
right?
with it.
But
that's right.
Hold on, I'm going to correct you though, because the director of Days Gone, like at Bend, came out and talked about the sequel to Days Gone, where it was actually not rejected by Sony. It was rejected internally. Like they looked at the option of doing a sequel, and they chose not to pitch a sequel to Days Gone.
And that guy's gone now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, so he talked about it after he left the studio. So like,
it still got poo-pooed on by the people that actually made the game. So that should say a lot.
That's what I mean. Like, it has nothing to do with Sony's decision. They didn't have they weren't given the option to do it.
So they shouldn't even bother remastering it. But
no, because we got that TV
here we
series
are.
coming on. We got that TV series.
Yeah, here we are.
Oh, no, yeah. The TV series is going to change everything.
But you never, again, it worked for Last of Us, where people
Last
saw
of
the
Us was
TV
a
series.
Brilliant game. Totally two different things.
And then, yeah. It's interesting, though, because like Twisted Metal was a really good show, but like there's nothing Twisted Metal out for people to buy. So
that's true.
I'll say that it was a decent show. It wasn't great. It wasn't good.
Yeah, you're right. It was entertaining. It wasn't the greatest show. It was a good show, though.
Yeah. But it was not Twisted Metal, that's for sure. They did take their own thing. It was by name only for the most part.
Yeah. But, oh well. Yeah. So I'm interested to see. Hopefully we get these announced in the next week or two, and then we'll have a bigger discussion about each one of them individually, because I'm curious. I'm curious to see what some of these look like. So moving on, speaking of your friend, Ron, the captain says, ring, ring. It's Herman Holst on the phone. Firstly, he wants to know why he has so many missed calls from Ron, and how did he get his number? Herman has been listening to Carpool, and he loves it so much that he's ready to give each of the hosts the opportunity to choose any game from any franchise or any console to remaster. Which game do you choose? This is an interesting place. I'm going to go first because I have a big example. Because again, I'm assuming, if I'm going by the captain's question here, probably first party games only, or at least that's what I'm assuming here, or that's how I read the question. So the one I want them to do a remaster or a remake of, in fact, just a remake, I would say The Legend of Dragoon. Yes, we just got a re-release of it not too long ago on PS Plus of just a straight port of the PS1 game. But that game deserves like a brand new translation on it. Fantastic new like a brand new coat of paint with visuals, some voice acting. Like I think that game is still incredible today with its combat and its open with its world design, but the character designs have not really aged that well, and it could really use with some voice acting because there's a lot of reading in that game, and I know Fulia won't play it because there's lots of reading in it. But it's also just a really good role playing game that just hasn't really stood up because of all these little things that were of its era. So I think that's a game that could really, really deserve like a good remaster or just a full-on remake, honestly, if I had to choose. So that would be my choice. But who has another one for this?
Go ahead, Ron. Tell us why Herman is getting so many calls from you first. Let's do that one.
I'm not talking to Herman right now. Me and Herman have a lot more to talk about than just remasters. The death of the PS5 is what we need to talk about. No, man, I would go with God of War. That first one needs to get kind of reintroduced. And I wouldn't care if it's a remaster or if they just remade it, but I would prefer a remaster just to quickly get it done so they won't have to waste too much time on that. But they like money, and I don't know why God of War is stuck on PS3, so I would choose that one.
Okay. Matt?
I'm going to ask Herman, since I've been giving you so much money for all the remasters for The Last of Us Part 2, if you go to Horizon Zero Dawn, here's your money. Take all that money and, whoever owns Shadow Hearts Covenant 2, buy it from them and please remaster it so I can play it again for the love of God before I go out there and buy a PS2 just so I can play that game because that is such a fantastic RPG.
Dream on, Matt. Dream on. That's not never going to happen.
I'm giving so much money to Herman. Look how many remasters I bought.
Four people bought the last Shadow Hearts game. That's not going to happen.
Herman, do you know how many times I bought The Last of Us Part 2 and Part 1? Come on, just take that money and buy Shadow Hearts Covenant and remaster it for me. Please. I'll buy a few copies of it. I'll give some to Ron. I'll give some to Fulia.
No,
Ryan will play it too.
Matt,
no, thank you.
They can't do that. They can't do that without doing the other two games. Like, come on, man. Like, you gotta be a little more greedy. You gotta be like Shadow Hearts Collection. 3 games.
Yes,
which would definitely not help it. Herman's gonna laugh you out of his office. Herman's gonna be like, "Get out of here."
Yeah,
it won't be the first time someone's laughed me out of their office.
It was a Midway developed game, and Midway's gone. So.
Yep, I tried to tell him, Chris, it wasn't going to happen.
I wonder actually who. I'm gonna Google that. I'm gonna do a quick Google while you guys talk amongst yourself. Who owns the Shadow Hearts IP right now?
Fool you. Who you want? Sly Cooper.
All right, Fulia. Yeah, who do you want besides Shadow Hearts Covenant 2?
Honestly, I was sad when I found out that I couldn't play Disney Universe anymore. So I want Disney Universe to be remastered and brought over.
That's going to be licensing hell to get that done. Probably.
That's right, Herman.
So much fun.
Do it, Herman.
Though.
Do it. That's right.
Herman's going to be like, no, this is going to sit here and be like, here, $1 million for this license. And Herman's going to be like, slide it back across the table.
Make it not local, but online multiplayer. Then you'll have a lot more people.
Oh, now you're asking too much. You're asking too much now.
Come on, Herman.
It needs to be online because no one does couch co-op these days.
Yeah,
everybody's online.
Herman's already shaking his head. He's like, these guys are dropping the ball.
Look, you do Disney Universe, you're gonna get tons of money rolling in easily, and then you can use that towards whatever other AAA game that you want to spend millions of dollars on.
Think about it, Herman. Just think about it. Easy money on the table. You can see it.
Matt,
that's right.
I have bad news for you. The Shadow Hearts, the IP, is currently owned by Arjur, which is a Japanese company who rebranded themselves to Universal Entertainment back in 2009. They're a pachinko company, and they don't make actual video games. In fact, there are 2 different pachinko games in Japan based off Shadow Hearts Covenant that exist. And that's it. For audio listeners, Matt's taking off his headset.
Yeah, Matt, I told you it was over. You didn't want to listen to me.
that is a slap so hard to my Shadow Hearts Covenant loving brain that they turned that IP into a pachinko game, a beloved RPG. I'm crying on the inside.
Matt, you got to think about it though. Shadow Hearts would not work out in today's world there was a lot of questionable stuff back then that would not make it now.
That's true. It does get a bit. Yeah, it goes places.
Yeah, Covenant was kind of wild.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So the real answer is no. You have to get your PS2 out, and you have to buy those games. Like you don't have a choice.
All right.
They have to relive it that way, man.
I mean, and again, unless you want to play it in pachinko machine form, I guess. But I mean, that's what Konami did with all their IPs. Like there's the Castlevania pachinko machine, the Metal Gear Solid 1, Silent Hill. Like they did that before they did those other remakes. So there you go.
Please.
All right. Next up, we got Toxic, who says, "Well, I don't mind remasters. I think Sony is doing it is kind of to fill their gap until bigger releases get ready. Kind of like what Nintendo did this year with their Switch releases. But I think the choice of games doesn't really make any sense. What does Horizon Zero Dawn need a remaster? Because it looks almost as good as Horizon Forbidden West. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the topic. And yeah,
He's not wrong.
Yeah,
He's not wrong. They're fluffing the light up because there's only like 6 actual PS5 only single player games. No, actually 5. Concourse isn't. Yeah, that's multiplayer only. So yeah, it's only like 5 only.
You can't even
count
play that
DLC and remakes and remasters. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's still wild to me that we could go an entire console generation without a brand new Naughty Dog game. That's not a remake.
It's gonna happen. I can see it. It's We're not getting one.
Yeah,
no.
We're not.
I mean, at this rate, we could also go an entire console generation without a Sucker Punch game either.
Please don't say
Possibility.
that.
I said it last show.
Please.
Yeah.
Come on.
No
Why'd I buy
first-party?
PS5
But-
now? Please.
But we will have one release from Kojima Entertainment. That's the main thing, you know?
Yeah, that's not first party though.
Doesn't matter. It's Kojima. It's good enough.
I'll take
Okay.
it. I'll take it.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Can't wait.
Next up, Crocodile says, "I would love to see my boys Sly, Jack, and Daxter brought back in their glory. That is all. Thank you, Sony." Also, the same one I asked the Xbox Drive because it was a fun conversation and I'd love to hear it from you guys. This week I got my first tattoo, a Gengar coming out of a Game Boy Color. Do y'all have any gaming related tattoos? If not, is there one you would want to get? First of all, are we even tattoo people? Like, do any of us actually have tattoos besides Fulia?
Yeah, I got 4 of them.
Oh, I'm the
I've
only
got a
one.
few.
Well, Lottie I guess I'm the only one with no tattoos. Then. No. So for me, Crocodile, I decided that if I ever was going to get a tattoo, I would get the Samus logo from Metroid on my arm or something like that. Like that would be cool. But I'm never getting a tattoo. So, but I want to hear from y'all. Ron, what about you?
I got the Metroid Prime logo on my forearm.
Nice. Would you get another tattoo? Another gaming tattoo besides that?
The only other tattoo I could probably sit and find room for would either be on my back somewhere. But
Okay.
Nah, I think that's gonna be it. Just the Metroid Prime one was cool enough for me.
Okay. Look at us, Metroid people. Just hanging out. Matt, how about you?
It's been on my mind for quite a bit of time. I'm not gonna lie. I would definitely be open to it. I don't have a gaming tattoo, but I really would like one, especially over the last few years as gaming has become my favorite hobby. But it's got to be a really solid design that kind of captures all of it.
Oh, it's gonna be Jerry. Jerry's gonna be right on your shoulder blade.
That's what I mean. Like I can't. I wouldn't do Jerry, even though he is the true hero. The Last of Us Part 2 and Part 1. Oh, hashtag. Oh, Jerry.
Hashtag Jerry.
I have to be very careful. I'd have to think about it because I'd have to think of something that can kind of encapsulate many aspects of gaming that I really like. So there's so many different franchises I like. You know, obviously I like Nintendo as well, alongside PlayStation. So I don't know. It's on the table for sure. I just haven't thought of a design that kind of represents all of it because, again, I'm not going to get like 20 different things on my back or something because don't have the space, don't have the time, don't have the money for that either.
Cool. Fulia?
If I was to get a gaming related one, it would be a black and white, sort of like a shaded version of a Kirby, because I really love Kirby.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be Clive.
Like a Game Boy Kirby. Okay.
Clive.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Clive right on the shoulder.
No. Sorry. Not gonna happen. I don't know what it is about like characters with faces. I think Kirby makes sense because it's a bit more cartoony. I do have a Totoro and a Gigi because they're, anime Studio Ghibli characters, but they're more sort of like animal sort of and monster kind of related ones. People faces, I don't really like having as a tattoo. I don't know. I think it's just more of a case of, everybody's body changes as they grow older, and sometimes the tattoos end up getting deformed, which is a bit unfortunate. So that's kind of the reason why I tend to steer clear of like human faces for tattoos. But yeah, Kirby would definitely be one that I would love to get, and I am highly considering it like at some point soon to get Kirby. Man, Astro Bot would be really cute.
There you go.
Oh,
There you go.
I wouldn't mind getting a little Astro Bot tattoo. That would be cool too. And if I do, you'll be the first to know.
Excellent. Excellent. Garrett Bland, by the way, chimes in the chat and says, I would get like Bioshock chains on my wrist as a tattoo.
Okay.
That's an
Like
interesting
it.
one.
No idea what that is, but sure.
But it's a video game made by 2K.
Bioshock is great.
Underwater stuff.
you didn't play Bioshock? It's good. Yeah, excellent.
It's not her style. It's not her style.
Yeah.
But I would love for her
That's
to play it.
spoopy. Yeah,
It's not about being
come on.
spoopy. It's just that's not her kind of game. You know that.
Yeah.
Such a good story. Aw.
It is.
Anyways, we got Ryu who says, I'm kind of half and half on remasters. I like remasters of games that either aren't readily available or have aged well, but these remasters of games didn't even release 10 to 15 years ago. In my opinion, they don't need to be made, especially the original game is available on multiple platforms like the PlayStation Store, Steam, Game Pass, etc. Are there any games you hope to not get a remaster? I sneezed. If there is any game that you hope gets preserved in a way it was traditionally intended by the original dev team. So is there a game we hope never gets a game remaster?
Last of Us 2.
There already is one.
That was
It's
quick.
too late for that.
It's
too late.
Too late.
It's
for
not
that.
over
here.
yet. It's not over yet.
It's too late. It's already here. And just wait. There'll be another remake of that remaster. You
I'm
wait.
pretty sure. That's why I said I don't want another one.
Yeah, wait till the PS6 version of The Last of Us.
Oh, I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Wait till the PS5 version of the remake remaster version of it. Just
Oh,
wait.
no. There's no more first-party PS5 games coming out. You know that.
I mean, that's what you heard from Herman on the phone. So that's
Nope.
the thing.
Nope. I haven't been talking to Herman.
My answer is Super Mario Brothers 3 because it never should have gotten a remake on the Super Nintendo to begin with, and that's a game that never needs a remake ever. Super Mario Brothers 3 is my answer. What do you guys think?
Oh, that's a good one.
Also,
Timeless
Super
game.
think?
Metroid.
I don't know.
Don't ever remake Super Metroid. It's fine the way it is.
I'm trying to think. This is a hard one. Like, I mean, I've never played it, but I know often people discuss this quite a bit. Final Fantasy VI, whether it should be remade or not. I've never played it, but I've heard people say it should not be remade because it's perfect the way it is.
I don't know if
there
I
it is,
want
Ron.
Square Enix touching that. No, thank you. That's okay.
Why not?
Yeah.
Square
Yeah,
is
so
very
leave
hit
it.
and miss with stuff, and classics. Leave them alone, please. Leave them alone.
No, see the winning formula is take Final Fantasy VI the way it is, but then add 200 mini games to it that you play throughout the game that are not optional.
Yeah, so let's add a multiverse timeline.
And then you add a multiverse
Oh, yes.
timeline to it where Kafka is trying to stop the heroes across multiple
Yes,
timelines.
yes. Change it from turn-based to action and have Nomura write the story. Yeah, this is a magic.
I actually agree wholeheartedly with you, Matt. That's actually a really good one. Like, I don't think they should ever remake that game. The pixel remaster for Final Fantasy VI is all you'll never ever need.
Yeah. Leave it at that.
That's what I've heard from people.
Leave it
That's
at
what I've
that.
heard. Never played it. Heard it's a good one though.
You should.
You should. Fulia, is there a game that should never be remade?
I don't know. I can't think of any.
Kirby's Dream Land on the Game Boy. That's your answer.
Leave it as it
Sure.
is. There it is. Uh-huh.
Cool.
Good answer.
Good answer. All right, next up, Kiku says, are there any games you regret trading or getting rid of? I still kick myself for trading in Cubivore as it's pricey to try and get a copy now. Cubivore is a very expensive game, by the way. Fulia, go ahead. I can see you're chomping at the bit.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself that I traded in my DJ Hero controller
Aw.
that was on the Wii. I could have kept that, and I could have played so much more because I love that music, and it just Now it's hard to get the controller in the game as a package cheap these days. But back then it was like, I think it was like $60 or $70 Australian at least, and just to get like the game and the controller. And yeah, I traded it in when I traded in my Wii to get the Wii. And I'm like, why did I do that? I really like playing that game, but yeah, and I got rid of it. So that's my one.
Okay. I highly regret selling off my entire original Xbox collection and my original GameCube collection in order to pick up the Xbox 360 in 4 games when it came out. Because that's all I got for it, was the amount I got for those games. And I had some, I didn't have, super rare games in there, but I had games that were rare enough and expensive enough. Like I must have had like $2,000 worth of games when I price it out now for what essentially ended up being, $500 worth of stuff that I ended up buying with the Xbox 360 at launch. But I wanted to go all out with the Xbox 360. And I was a big dumb gum because I traded it all to GameStop, and GameStop did not give me much for it. But I was like, all right, every little bit counts. I want the Xbox 360 and my copy of Perfect Dark Zero and Quake 4 and Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie, and Madden 2006. I wanted all those games. So that was the thing. Matterrod?
Yeah, probably Suikoden 1 and 2. I wish I had not traded those in. Especially Suikoden 2, because that was quite pricey at one point in time to get a hold of. So I kind of wish I had held on to those.
Okay.
I'm the same as you, Ryan. Like, the biggest regret is trading in my entire GameCube collection and the GameCube, because I rebuilt it a few years ago and I've paid quite a bit just to rebuild my childhood games, and like totally not worth it. And even when I have rebuilt it, I had to make some compromises and buy like player choice versions of some games because the black editions are very, very expensive. And then, just the emotional side of it. It's like, yeah, I bought that game, but it's not, a part of me knows it's not the one I had when I was 19 years old. So biggest regret, biggest dumb decision I made. Because honestly, I don't even remember what I got for it. It probably was just because I remember it wasn't towards the Wii, because I think I got that as a birthday present, and pretty sure it wasn't towards the PS3 because I bought that at Best Buy. So that's even the saddest part. I don't even remember what I got for trading in like my goat of console and games. I can't even remember.
Yeah. That's even worse. That's even worse than my example, because you're right. Like you would have hoped that you would have been trading in for something like meaningful or something that you really, really enjoyed. Because with me and Xbox 360, as much as I regret trading all that stuff to get that, like I loved the period of the Xbox 360 at launch and playing that launch era of Xbox 360 games, or playing Xbox Live Arcade games when that was first a thing. Like that was a huge thing for me, because I was playing a ton of games on Xbox Live at the time, making a lot of friends that way. So like there was definite merit for me doing that. But you're right. Like when it's even worse when you don't even know what it is anymore, because it was definitely not memorable, whatever it was. Pokemon hurts. Sleep. You traded all in for Pokemon Sleep. That's what happened.
I think I have a way of getting my DJ Heroes controller back, but not on the Wii this time, on the PS3.
Excellent.
It's okay.
I know that controller is a little bit cheaper on the console.
Yeah. So
I
might go with that one.
If the DJ Hero controller, Fulia, wasn't so big, I would bring it in the car with me to
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm pretty sure there are some Aussies on eBay that are selling them, so it's fine.
Okay. Oh no, I didn't mean for you to take home with you. It was for us to play DJ Hero at Extra. I mean,
I wouldn't have been able to take it home anyway.
Although I am thinking about bringing dance mats so we can play some DDR at Extra Life.
Oh wow,
so fun!
Excellent.
I've only ever experienced DDR in an arcade.
Oh,
and I've only played it once, and I already know how hard it was. I'm like,
but there's selectable difficulties on the home version, so to make it
actually,
easy.
you know what? The first time I actually played DDR was at the rec room in Edmonton with Sean and Marcus.
Amazing.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I'll say it comes back around. There you go.
Yeah. All right. Final question this week. This is a person who is trying to one-up Ron here. This is Quaggy, who says, "It is I, the Quaggy, king of the Xenobabes." Are you sure, Quaggy? Because it says on Ron's name.
That's right, Quaggy. I'm the true king of the Xenobabes.
Yeah.
Oh.
But he's also king of the Falcon Empire. Caw. With the rumors that Concord cost $400 million to make, and with a culture of quote-unquote positive toxicity mitigating any criticism from being brought to leadership, what will change at Sony as a result of this? Will Firewalk be shuttered? Is Herman out? What are your thoughts? Also bring me Days Gone Remastered. I'm day one. Hashtag for justice for Days Gone. So, yes, this kind of blew up over the course of the weekend with the reported costs of Concord, but of course we don't have confirmation, so it's kind of still up in the air as to whether or not this is actually true. But yeah, this is an interesting situation because, of course, we know, Concord, colossal failure as far as, having to pull the game after a couple weeks, and it doesn't sound like they're ever bringing it back. The head of the studio at Firewalk is gone at this point. So what do we think the future looks like for Firewalk and for Concord, and what needs to change here? Because personally, I already think we're starting to see the change anyways at Sony that needs to happen to avoid this happening again. Because not only was this a big kind of personal project from Herman Hulst that we kind of heard about that because he talked about that in interviews multiple times, but also Jim Ryan, because this is part of the very much part of the Jim Ryan era at PlayStation, where they were trying to get as many live service games as possible. And I think the changing of the guard after Jim Ryan left, I think, has kind of shifted direction away from that a little bit. So I think, even though I think Fair Games, the Jade Raymond live service game, is still in development, Sony's already publicly come out even before Concord failed and said they're kind of moving away from the live service direction. So I think the changes are all kind of already happening here, but I'm curious to know what y'all think about this. What do you think, Ron?
I don't know if we could fully blame Firewalk for what happened. I mean, apparently, going off of rumors, internally, I guess some of the people were already questioning the fun in the game anyway. But because it was Herman's baby, and I guess some people were just afraid to give their honest opinions on stuff, they decided to stay positive about it and just work through it. They probably should go ahead and just cut the losses while they had a chance instead of pumping $200 million into it. Especially if the team that was working on it was already having questions on if the game was going to be good. That's not a good sign whatsoever. So hopefully this is not the end of Firewalk. Hopefully they get another chance to do something. But I don't know. They might be trying to sit there and just go ahead and just cut everything, and we'll have to see. I mean, like you said, the head of the studio is already gone. In some ways, I think this is kind of Herman to blame too. I mean, Herman was back in the building behind this, and if the words of this is the future of PlayStation and this has Star Wars potential, which I still don't understand where they got that from, because looking at Concord, I don't understand how they thought that was going to be the future of PlayStation whatsoever. But I don't know, man. If Herman did back that, and he was one of the main reasons why they were like, yeah, let's put $200 million into this, then maybe Herman is not the bright light for PlayStation that we thought he was, because Concord just went horribly wrong. And I don't see Concord coming back. Not after, if this information is true, I don't see how this comes back.
Yeah. Because it's one of those things where it's and we talked about it on the show before, where it's it'd be different if this game failed because it wasn't fun to play. Mm-hmm. But we know that this game was fun to play. We played this game. For God's sake, most of our Discord was obsessed with this game because it was fun to play. So it's not because of that. It failed because the character designs were unappealing to a lot of people on the outside looking in, and they just didn't want to give this game another try. So I think, I think maybe that's why we haven't heard about Firewalk dissolving, because I don't think that they, get rid of, if they were gonna get rid of the studio or not give them another chance, I think they would have dissolved them already. But we haven't gotten the news yet. So I'm curious to know what you guys think. Matt, what do you think?
I think the big changes that we're going to see at Sony as a result of this, I think we're already seeing it, which is Sony's going to be doubling down on what they know, what works for them and for their brand. And we're already seeing with the rumors, remasters of games that people like, easy money, because people like me will buy it, right? I think they're going to be doubling down on that stuff and a big shift towards that stuff. And it's not just with Concord, like who knows how much money that they've lost with Factions Part 2, other live service games. Look, the big announcement this week that officially came out was the 30th anniversary edition for PS5 Pro, PS5 Slim. Did you see which hardware was missing from that lineup? PSVR 2. Sadly,
to be fair, they were never going to do like a 30th anniversary.
They're not supporting
PSVR
it now.
2.
Why would they waste the time
and the
money?
I'm just saying.
But even then, like the design makes no sense as to why they would color that gray as opposed to white. Like it would look weird.
I'm just saying. I feel like Sony is going to be focusing on what they think is going to be working, and unfortunately, in my opinion, taking a lot less risks. And it's unfortunate to see that they'll be doubling down on what tried and true, which isn't bad, but at the same time, without risk taking and innovation, things don't move forward. I think that's what you're going to see from Sony for the next few years: remasters and sequels. I'd be shocked to see a brand new IP from a first-party studio in this generation in PS5. I'd be shocked. I would be very surprised.
Except Blue Points. I think like that's one you have a chance to see.
Blue
Because
Point's the
we
only
know
one
they've
that's
been working
probably
on that
close.
for a while.
Yeah.
Because they've mentioned that.
Well, and Wolverine. But
That's
that'll
not really a
probably
new
be
IP, though.
Yeah, it's not. Well,
It's
Insomniac's
a gray
version
area.
will be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a gray area. It kind of is and it kind of isn't. So
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, Fulia?
I don't know. It really-
All right.
I don't really concern myself with that side of the gaming industry, I suppose. I mean, I do have thoughts about them, but I feel like everyone's pretty much mentioned everything that I'd be saying as well. So yeah,
No problem.
no
So
need
then,
to repeat myself.
no, it makes sense. So
Yeah.
before we move on, real quick, you mentioned it, Matt, because I was going to bring this up if you didn't. But what did y'all think? Because we didn't get a question about this. But what did we think about the PlayStation Anniversary Collection? I'm going to show it up here on screen if people haven't had a chance to see this yet, of course. Being kind of the lineup to celebrate the 30th anniversary of PlayStation. Of course, the color-coded, the gray, the gray consoles, the PS5 Pro, the PS5 Slim, the DualSense and the DualSense Edge, and of course the PlayStation remote device, which am I
Portal.
blanking on? The Portal. Thank you. I for one, as someone who loves who's been playing PlayStation games forever, like this is a slam dunk for me. Whereas like I want all this stuff in my home because I'm excited. I'm willing to rebuy stuff that I've bought already. But I like, first of all, I was really excited about the Pro, but then they told us that there's going to be only 1,800 of the Pros made. And that's going to be in this super expensive bundle where it's going to be over $1,000 American dollars because it comes with a DualSense Edge and a charging station and the base. So it's going to be an expensive unit as it is. Whereas like I think the Slim version is a little bit more reasonably priced if you're kind of looking for a PlayStation 5 right now. But is the roll count here? I want to know who else is getting any of this stuff besides me.
If anything, just out of all that, I think the only thing that I would probably buy may be the DualSense Edge, just because I don't have one of those. I already have like 3 different just regular DualSense controllers. The DualSense Edge might be something I've been sort of thinking about getting it for a little while now. So if anything, that might be the case for me. I might end up going that way. But that's the thing. Like, I don't really know that I really need it. Is the other thing too. I'm that type of shopper where I need to take a moment to think about whether or not I really want something, or do I really want to pay that much money for it? So I always take that step back and think about it first before I spend my money. But yeah, I've been a gamer since the PS1 days. So this color scheme already appeals to me with the original colored logo, which is really cool, and especially considering that they've got the colored buttons and the logo button on the controller is also colored, and that really appeals to me. So out of everything from this, I feel like the DualSense Edge might be something I'd be considering. Lately I've been thinking about maybe getting a Portal, but I think it'll probably only happen if I know I'm not going to be using my PlayStation as my entertainment system. Because I can't play games and watch something at the same time, unfortunately, if I want to use the Portal. So I really need to I've been thinking about that if I do end up getting like maybe, I don't know, like a different streaming device, like one of those Chromecast media things, and use that instead, then it might come in handy. But I think the DualSense Edge for me would probably be the way to go.
Nice. I mean, it's a nice DualSense Edge. I really like, especially like the darker kind of touchpad on it. I think that's a nice touch.
Yeah, and the touchpad also has like the pattern of the 30th anniversary pattern that they've got going on inside, like on the backside on the inside of the whatchamacallits, like on the grip side and on the inside of the plates. So, yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Matt or Ron? What do you think about this?
Just the controller. That's the only thing and that's the regular DualSense. I don't care about the Edge or anything else.
Yeah. Matt, have we sold you on
I'm
anything?
sorry, Internet. I am part of the problem. We were talking about it in the Discord when this came out. I was upset because I was like, there's limited quantities. Sony, why are you doing that? You know people want it. You're purposely making it difficult. And I asked, where are the plates? Why do we have removable plates if we're not getting it like this? Please. Yeah. And then I can't remember who it was in the Discord. It's like, buy the controller. And I was like, yep, I'll still buy the controller even though I'm upset. See,
yeah. I mean, it can't be limited, man. If you get the plates out, it's not going to be limited. No. If you want it to look like that, you buy the whole console.
Now, to
the
be
whole
fair,
thing again.
They mentioned in the PlayStation blog post that the only thing here that's limited is the PS5 Pro. Because that's the only one they're doing like a numbered bundle for, where there's 1,800 of them worldwide. The Slim, it's just limited time. Like it's available over like a 3-month period. So you have to buy it within that 3-month period. But they said there's going to be like a really large allocation of those, as well as the controllers and the portals. So I think you'll be able to get your hands on any one of these things if you want them besides the Pro. I think that's going to be the only one that's like limited supply one. But I also had the exact same question as you. Where the heck are the plates? Because like I would buy these plates for my Pro in a heartbeat if they were available.
Sony knows what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're not going to put the plates out.
Quaggy mentioned in the Discord. He's like, that's what Nintendo does with their special edition Nintendo Switches. They don't release the Joy-Cons. And I'm like, yes, Sony's pulling a Nintendo move, which is bad. Please.
Yes. Is it bad? Look how many of you guys actually go do it. Let's be 100.
I am the problem.
How many? Yep, there you go.
I am the problem.
When Nintendo fans flock to it, Sony sees that and they're like, you know what? Let's do it too.
That could be us too. But
I'm sorry.
To be with you guys, I'm also getting the DualSense controller because like I just bought the Astro Bot one.
Yeah, same.
But man, I got to get that other one. Although an interesting thing happened, Fulia, with the Astro Bot controller because like. Oh? I've been using my like maroon PlayStation 5 DualSense for the longest time, and I have to basically charge the battery on it 2 or 3 times a day because the battery is not great on it. Whereas I got the Astro Bot controller, I noticed immediately the difference in battery life where I was like, oh no, this purchase was justifiable, so maybe I should get another one of these because I like having 2 controllers around. That so then when one's charging, I can use the other one. Yeah. So I think like this is like the perfect controller to kind of fill in that slot, and then I can finally retire the maroon controller, or it can be like my PC controller if I end up playing a game on PC.
The
like
Cosmic Red controller.
One. I don't have. It's not the Cosmic Red one now. It's like it's labeled as red, but it's maroon in color. If that makes any sense.
Which red one did you get?
I got the one when the PS5 first came out. Like
that would have been the. Is it the Cosmic Red? Because the latest one is the Volcanic Red.
Right. So it is probably labeled Cosmetic Red, but Cosmic Red. But it is certainly not red. It is definitely a maroonish color. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, Matt and I are clearly both the problem. That's what's going on here.
Yeah.
So. Anyways, this has been the PlayStation Drive. But before we go, of course, we got to say thank you to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. Start with our all producers, Jonathan Brown, the man behind the music on this podcast, as well as the Xbox Drive. And check out all of his music over at Purple Monkey Entertainment at the link tr.ee/pme.jib. And Cwagmire, who humbly reminds you that the best babes are Xenobabes. And TechMike, who says, whether you're Kevesi or Agnian, or however you say it, you're a Xenobabe at heart. You know what?
Yes,
Matt,
I know what all that meant.
Ron,
Yes.
yeah, Ron, pronounce it properly. Show Ryan how to pronounce it.
Yes. Yes. Make it like a high, make a hiney ho. There you go.
Thank you, Ron.
Yeah, but Ron,
All of our ultimate producers can always be found in our description of our podcast, so please make sure to support them because they're amazing and they support us. Our platinum producers, CowboyDangerD, Peje, Solo, Smokin Joe, and the Captain, and Tim Paullin, and our gold members, Adam K, Anna, Awesome Dave 1337, BobLoblaw, Brad Moore, Brian Reese, Cecily Carrozza, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Drellesh, Emily O'Kelly, Hoppel, Jan32, Kia Savoy, Ligerwood 330, the OldMrFrump, Patrice Mallette, Shane Erickson, the Jiggy Collector, and Toxic. Huge thank you once again to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/carpoolgaming. If you want to hop in the car with us, head on over there. Choose the tier that's right for you. And now wrong plugs go.
Savoy Prime on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, backlogged, True Trophies, Savoy_Prime on Twitter.
Matt?
you can find me as Nagachaka in Twitter and in the Carpool Gaming Discord.
And Fulia?
You can find me over on X and Instagram at Foolish Fuji. You can also find me on Twitch and YouTube, Foolish Fuji, and in the Discord, Foolish Fuji. And if you, just for all of the other links and more, you can head over to foolishfuji.card.co. Card with 2 R's.
Yeah.
And you'll find everything there.
Ron, hold the phone before I go to B. Rybo is saying, show's over already. Ron, Rybo, we've been going for an hour and a half now. How long did you expect the show to be?
It actually does seem a bit shorter today, but hey, that's the way it goes sometimes.
I was going to say, we've been almost going for 2 hours now. What do you mean the show is over already, Rybo? As for me,
Quality show.
yeah, we got to everything we want to talk about. As for me, you always find me on the old Twitter, aka X, at Ryan Torford. You also find us on X at Carpool Gaming, right here, youtube.com/Carpool Gaming, over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Carpool Gaming Live, and of course, podcast services around the globe. So, for Fulia, Matt, and Ron, I'm Ryan. This has been the PlayStation Drive, and we're out.
Adios, friends.
See ya.
Bye.
Good night.
Thanks for checking out this week's episode of the PlayStation Drive. Now, before you drive off, please make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us at Carpool Gaming on socials. Don't forget to check out our awesome merch on carpoolgaming.com, and you can also support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, where you'll unlock all kinds of exclusive content. Links to everything are in the description.